Alright, in the last video we saw how to use logical operators and conditional operators to find if something is true or false, and we put that true or false into a Boolean variable. Now we're going to get to the nitty-gritty of it, so we're going to use if statements to use those true or false to make things happen. So, an if statement, and I want you to, when you're writing your practice code, if we haven't already talked about it, I'm sure we have, I want your code to look like this, so the curly brackets line up. My code inside the update is tabbed in. So an if statement starts with an if, and then in parentheses you give it a condition. Inside this parentheses, it must be something that evaluates to true or false. So in this case, I'm going to put it score is greater than 400. All right. So that can be a true or false. I can't say something like score plus 400 because that doesn't equal a true or false. Something that equals a true or false. So this equals a true or false, that in this case. Now, so I put the condition. Then the if statement gets its own curly brackets, which should be right under the I. And this editor likes to pop them back up, which I don't like. So we're going to bring it back down here. So if, and then I'm going to put a debug log, and we're going to say great job. All right, and then like usual, and I took this debug log out, so the only thing we'll print is that. So like usual, I'm going to build, go back to my Unity, and run. Oops, I guess I... Very interesting. All right, so I forgot to stop and say, why is this happening? All right, so something I forgot to talk about. So I put my if statement in the update. The reason I put my if statement in the update is because I wanted to check it over and over again. So in most cases, we're going to want our if statements to be in update because we want the score to be checked over again. Or we would have them like at an end, but we don't want necessarily to check the score at the start. So this would be silly to put our if statement in here. So I'm going to take this score and I'm going to put it up here, which it makes it a class variable, and now it's accessible to update. There we go. Now I'm not getting any errors, and let's go back to here and run, and we got great job over and over and over again. All right. Now I'm also going to put another one, and I'm going to say if it's greater than 300, I want to say good job, right? Not a great job. Now it's a good job. Okay, I'm going to run it. And let's see what it does. So look, it's saying great job and good job. Great job and good job. All right, so what is happening here is if statements are always checked. So it's checking this one and then it's doing this one. Then it's checking this one and doing this one. Okay. If I don't want it to do both, but I want it just to do one, I can do a couple of things. I could change this so in this case, score is less than or equal to 400, but yet it's greater than 300. So now these are exclusive, right? It can't hit here and here, so I'm only going to get one. Let's build. And see, I'm only getting great job because it is greater than 400. It's not in here, all right? But what if I want it to, and let's change it to 400 and see what we get. All right, so now I'm getting good job because it fits in there. Okay, so that's one way to do it. But a little bit easier way to do it is to use an if-else statement. So the way else if statements work is it'll check this one. If this one's true, it will stop there. It'll check this one. If it's not true, it'll go on to the next one. So now we don't need to be an exclusive. So let's see what it runs. And we're only getting good job. So if you don't get at least 300, I'm going to put an else statement on here. And else statements don't need to have conditions because they are everything else. So if it doesn't meet this one, doesn't meet this one, else. You can have an else, an if, and an else alone, or you can have an if and lots of else ifs, and then an else, but you can't have an else without an if. So, and I really don't like how I did that. Messed up all my curly brackets that I had like I liked them. All right. And here I'm going to say, well, you know, if you didn't get at least 300, I'm going to say, never mind. And we'll change this to 250. All right. Build. Not getting any errors. Run. Never mind. All right, so in conclusion, if statements are very useful. Something has to be true in here. Oh, and you can also use them like this. So we could also put our is healthy. And this is, we'll see this a lot. So is healthy is a Boolean. So it by default is either true or false. So it can go in there just like that. You don't have to put is healthy equals anything, etc. So let's see. So this one would say if it is healthy, it's going to say true. If it is not healthy, it's going to be false. Remember, we have this for our is healthy. So let's see. Oh, and remember, look, I didn't put is healthy in the class, so it didn't work. So I'm going to move to my class. And I'm going to declare it up here as a class variable, but I'm going to assign it down here in the start. So I took that Boolean off here. I have it only once, so it's only declared once. All right. And now we're getting a great job. So it must be healthy. All right, I just wanted you to see this because you will see this a lot. And then this would be, this is true, and this would be false, because you can also do, and that's the opposite, that's false. So the exclamation point makes things false. And now we're getting never mind, because I flipped it. All right, so back to our summary. We can use if. We usually want to put them in the update because we want them to go over and over. We can have ifs that check everything. We can have ifs with lots of ifs, or we can have an if with an else if, which will only check the one, keep checking until it finds a true. We can put an else. The thing about else is there everything else? So you don't need a condition on the else. The conditions that are in ifs always need to be evaluatable to true or false. And you put the condition in parentheses. You put curly brackets around what you want to happen, with which are statements with semicolons after them. All right. Good luck and have fun.